Hello everyone, my name is Gabriella and I'm the owner of Human Design Hawaii, and today's video is in honor of our Birthstone collection that I just released. So what I did was I made different rings and pendants with the primary and secondary birthstones of every month. And my goal with that was to make something celebratory and fun. So I thought it would be really cool to incorporate both of the different stones for each month. That way you get a nice pop of color and it can be fun and something to admire and look at. And then I did different setting styles so that way you can see how the light, refracts through each stone in that way, and also aesthetically to the eye, how that makes it a nice, unique look. And these are all set in pure 14 karat golds. You can get them in yellow, white, and rose gold on the website. And then we do have a customization option now, which is really nice in case you want to put maybe your birthstone, your significant others, and that can be a great way to customize these pieces. But for the Birthstone collection, on its own, we do provide the 2 birthstones for each month. And what prompted me really to do this video was when I had the collection displayed, I had a GIA placard, and this displayed the different birthstones for each month just at a glance. And I noticed that when people were walking by, there was a lot of confusion on, a lot of people didn't know what their birthstone was. They were very curious. Then they also got very curious on why there was 2. And so it just prompted a lot of questions. And so I thought that this would be a great opportunity to do a video to provide some clarity, and then to also show you guys some of the beautiful pieces that we have created, which we'll get a close-up of later. But first off, I just wanted to talk about the different types of gemstones. So there is different categories for the birthstones. So you do have the modern birthstones, which a lot of us know today. And then you have the traditional birthstones. And then there's also mystical birthstones and Ayurvedic birthstones. So today, for the sake of the video, we're only going to be talking about the modern and the traditional. And to start off, we'll talk about the modern birthstones because those are going to be a little bit more familiar to most of us. The modern birthstones were created, the list was created in the early 1900s by the Jewelers of America. And so what they wanted to do is they wanted to kind of sit down in more of a practical manner and create a list of birthstones for each month. And some of the birthstones from the original traditional list do still coincide with the modern list. So they did keep some of the birthstones the same, but where there is some confusion, where especially for June, like pearl, for instance, is a part of the traditional category, which came well before, in the 1800s. And then Alexandrite is actually the modern birthstone for June, and that's going to be more of the newer one. But for whatever reason, more of my clients do know more about the pearl than they do the Alexandrite, and the Alexandrite is going to be more of the modern, newer stone. But where the birthstones from the traditional list first got created, it was back in the 1800s. There is a lot of mystery specifically surrounding this, just because it did involve a lot of tradition, per different cultures. I believe that in Poland, it was a little bit more predominant and kind of in that region. And then a lot of people did, gather some insight from the list, or some inspiration, I guess, from more biblical times. So the exact specifics on it are going to be a little bit different. And obviously this was from a very long time ago. I definitely wasn't around. And so there's not exact precise information, but for the sake of the video, I just like to give my clients really clear, basic information. That way you have at least a fundamental understanding of what these things are. So you got the 4 different lists. The 2 most popular are modern and traditional. The traditional did start in the 1800s, and it was a little bit more in a folklore manner. And so there was a list generated there. There are some similarities in the stones from that original traditional list to now the modern list that was created in the early 1900s by the Jewelers of America. And so some of those stones are the same, but then we do have some of those more unique occasions where people are more familiar with their traditional stone versus the modern stone. And the example that I gave for that was June. Nevertheless, it does give each person more options. Some people may not necessarily like, having more options for their month. I find that some of my clients just like knowing exactly what stone it is, and they want it recognizable across the board. And then some of my other clients do appreciate having like the versatility. Some of the gemstones, for each month are going to be precious and semi-precious, and the precious gemstones do cost more and they are more valuable. So I find that for my clients that are on a budget, they really do appreciate the flexibility of having like sometimes that semi-precious secondary option, because then you can kind of get maybe a larger stone or just have more options in general. I find also that a lot of my clients don't like the color of their gemstone. And I always try to educate my clients on the fact that there's a lot of different colors that these gemstones come in. So for my clients that are in January, for instance, I often hear that one the most, that they don't like the color red that the garnet comes in. But actually garnet comes in many different colors. And so you can have options in that way as well, just in educating yourself on what colors the actual stone comes in, and then realizing that, okay, you can get one stone in many colors, and then you also have your secondary stone, and you can probably get that one in a couple different colors as well, like topaz, for instance. So I hope this provided a little bit more insight for you guys. If you have any specific questions, please ask them below. I would love to answer them. I had so much fun discussing these gemstones with you, and we will have more videos to come in the future on each specific stone and just kind of diving a little bit deeper into them. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.